welcome to the deep dive. Ever feel like you sort of know of a place?
But not really know it. Yeah, I get that.
That's kind of how the Czech Republic feels for a lot of people, I think. We've got a couple of great sources to really dig into today.
Right. There's this YouTube video, 40 facts explaining the Czech Republic. Quick pace.
Yeah, from Globe Addict, David. And also a text stock just called czechrepublic.txt. Clean.
So the mission today...
Get you properly clued in, fast, about this, heart of Europe.
Exactly. If maybe Prague is all, or you sometimes still think Czechoslovakia...
Which, hey, it happens.
Then, yeah, this is for you. Think of it as a shortcut to really getting the Czech Republic.
And that name, Czechoslovakia, it does linger. The video jumps right on that 93 split.
The Velvet Divorce, they called it.
But to really understand the Czech Republic now, we gotta rewind, like way back.
Oh, absolutely. Both sources point to the Habsburgs. They were in charge of Bohemia from 1526.
Wow, okay, for nearly 4 centuries.
Almost 4 centuries, yeah.
Yeah.
Right up till World War I. And the video really highlights this constant push to impose German.
And the Czechs pushing back, trying to keep their language, their culture.
Exactly. It wasn't just linguistic, it was existential for them, a real fight for identity.
Which kind of sets the scene for the massive changes in the 20th century. WWI ends, the Austro-Hungarian Empire is gone.
And boom, Czechoslovakia appears on the map.
And according to the video, it wasn't just existing, it was actually doing pretty well initially. Prospering.
Yeah, that early independence was vital for shaping a modern Czech identity. But, location, location, location.
Right in the middle of Europe. Vulnerable.
Very. As WWII loomed. Well, both sources make it clear what happened next. German invasion.
The Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia sounds ominous.
It was a grim time. And the video mentions Slovakia actually split off then, declared independence under Hitler's influence.
Another fracture in the region.
Yeah. Then after the war, a whole different influence arrives.
The Soviets.
Right, there's text stock notes the communist period starting. And the video pins it to 1948. Communist Party takes over.
And they're in the Soviet bloc for, 4 decades?
Over 40 years, until that huge moment.
1989, the Velvet Revolution.
And what's amazing, and both sources stress this, is how peaceful it was.
Yeah, that's remarkable. No huge violence to switch to democracy.
It says something, doesn't it? And then, just a few years on, 93.
The split. Czech Republic and Slovakia, again, peaceful, amicable even.
Which for that part of the world, that history, it's pretty special.
So fast forward to today, the video maps it out. Poland north, Slovakia east, Austria south, Germany west.
Smack bang in the middle, crossroads of Europe.
And that location, it seems, has really shaped the culture we're about to dive into. Okay, beer. We have to start with beer.
Yeah, Cork doesn't quite cover it, does it? The video's emphatic. Beer is serious business.
Like a national institution.
Totally. That 140 liters per person per year figure.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And like the guy says, take out kids, people who don't drink. The actual adult average must be huge.
Astronomical. And it's just woven into daily life. The fact it can be cheaper than water in places.
That says it all, really. Its value, its place.
But then you contrast that with religion.
Yeah, that was surprising. Only about 12% Christian or Catholic. Most people saying no religion or just not answering.
It's a real contrast, especially when you see the landscape. The video shows it well.
Churches everywhere, right? Even tiny villages have them.
Chapels, churches, they're all over. So clearly a deep historical, cultural mark from religion.
But maybe not active participation today.
Seems that way. You wonder, maybe the Habsburg legacy or the communist years, maybe that push towards secularism. Could be.
Okay, moving from spirit to stone. Castles. The place is apparently lousy with them.
Oh yeah, paradise for history buffs, the video calls it. One of the highest densities of castles anywhere.
And Brog Castle is the big one.
The biggest, actually. Largest ancient castle complex in the world, Guinness record. The text stock mentions it too, along with St. Vitus Cathedral inside. It's stunning.
And it's not just a museum piece.
Nope, still the president's official residence. Peter Pavel, the current one, works there. Video points that out. History living alongside the present.
That's cool, and that links to the regions, right? Bohemia, Moravia, Silesia.
The video mentions those 3 historical regions. Maybe some subtle differences persist, traditions.
But mostly unified now by the language.
Seems so, though that language, Czech. Sounds like a challenge.
Yeah. What's the deal?
Well, both sources mention it. The video flags the huge vocabulary, over 250,000 words, more than Russian or French.
Wow.
And that letter, the Riz sound, apparently notoriously tricky, even for some natives.
I can't even imagine.
But it's a Slavic language. That's key, which is why, as the video notes, Czechs and Slovaks can largely understand each other.
Mutual intelligibility. Makes sense, given the shared history.
And there's real pride in being part of that broader Slavic group.
Interesting. The video then talks about modern life, Western living standards rising.
Yeah, but you still see the Eastern influence, like those Soviet-era apartment blocks in the architecture.
So kind of a blend, navigating the past, moving forward.
Exactly. A nation in transition, in a way.
Okay, when people get hungry, what's typical Czech food like?
The video had some tasty-looking examples. Svíčka,
What's that?
sort of marinated beef, creamy veggie sauce, looked rich, and fried cheese. Smažený sír. That seemed like a big comfort food favorite.
Fried cheese sounds universally good.
Right. And it's not just ethnic Czechs eating it. The video mentions lots of Slovak students, which makes sense.
From the old connection.
Yeah, and a large Vietnamese minority. Been there since communist-era work agreements.
That's fascinating. Didn't know that.
Estimated 60,000, maybe even more. Plus, more recently, a significant number of Ukrainians arrived after the invasion. Adds diversity.
Definitely changes the social mix. Okay, let's talk brass tacks. Economics.
Right, video gives the snapshot. 46th globally in GDP. Average salary, around $700.
Seems low, but maybe cost of living offsets it. Average lunch, $6 to $10.
Yeah, seems quite affordable day to day. And the currency's a Czech crown or koruna, about 23 to the US dollar.
But it's not just money, right? Quality of life seems pretty high.
Very high, according to the rankings. The video lists them off. 18th in happiness, 12th in peace.
Wow, 12th for peace is impressive.
And 26th for democracy, 30th for freedom. Solid scores. Plus, being in the EU and NATO.
Big advantages. Stability, security.
Definitely. It paints a picture of a pretty well-functioning, stable country.
Okay, shifting to nature. Mild climate, 4 distinct seasons.
Yep. Snowy winters, hot summers. The video shows that range. Geographically, it's 115th largest.
It's not huge.
Not huge. Mostly lower lands, hills, mountains mainly on the borders, and the highest peak isn't super high, about 1,600 meters.
But the forests sound amazing. And this mushroom hunting thing.
Isn't that wild? Over 70% of people do it every year.
70%? That's incredible.
The video shows these gorgeous forests and stresses how safe they are. No bears, no wolves.
Just one type of mildly poisonous snake, apparently.
Yeah, it seems the danger level is very low, which probably explains why everyone's out there foraging. A real connection to the land.
Okay, so when they're not picking mushrooms, sports.
Big time. Ice hockey is huge. Loads of guys in the NHL.
Jaromir Jagr, obviously. Legend.
The video gives him a proper shout out. Football's massive too. And Czech women in tennis have had amazing success over the years.
Right, like Navratilova, Kvitova.
Exactly, a strong sporting nation.
And beyond sports, famous Czechs.
Oh yeah, quite a list. Writers like Milan Kundera, Kafka. But Kafka wrote in German, didn't he? But Prague-born.
Okay, interesting point.
Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics. And the composer, Antonin Dvořák.
Ah, the New World Symphony.
And get this, the video says it was the first piece of music played on the moon.
No way! On the Apollo mission.
Apparently so. How cool is that?
That's an amazing bit of trivia. And other Czech inventions.
The list in the video was impressive. Soft contact lenses.
Really? Didn't know that was Czech.
Blood type groups, discovery, polarography, some kind of electroanalysis, lightning rods, even Semtex plastic explosive.
Whoa, quite a range from contacts to explosives.
And sugar cubes. Can't forget the humble sugar cube.
Okay. That's quite a legacy of innovation.
Definitely. And iconic brands, too. Dakota Cars, obviously.
Major European car maker now.
And the beers, of course. Pilsner Urquell, Kozel, Budweiser Budvar. World famous.
Budweiser Budvar, not the American one.
Nope, the original Czech Budweiser. Long story there. But yeah, brewing heritage is huge.
Okay, so if you're planning a trip, Prague is the obvious first stop.
Pretty much unavoidable and unmissable. The tech stock calls it City of 100 Spires. Old Town Square, astronomical clock.
That clock looks amazing.
Charles Bridge, St. Vitus, Prague Castle. You need days just for Prague.
But don't just stay in Prague.
Definitely not if you want the full picture. Both sources push exploring further. The tech stock raves about Eski Krumlov.
Oh, I've seen pictures. Looks like a fairy tale town, UNESCO site.
Yep. And Kutna Hora, it's got that famous bone church, the Sedlec ossuary.
Right, the chapel decorated with bones. Creepy but fascinating.
And St. Barbara's Church there is stunning too. Karlovy Vary is another one, the Spa Town Film Festival.
Very elegant looking.
And the text suggests cities like Brno, Olomouc, Teluk, for more, maybe authentic Czech feel away from the main tourist track.
Good tips. What about nature spots?
Bohemian Switzerland National Park gets mentioned. Sandstone cliffs, arches, looks dramatic.
Bohemian Switzerland in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, confusing name, that's what it's called. And the Moravian karst caves, underground rivers, the Makocha Abyss.
Sounds like incredible scenery underground. Lots to see beyond the cities.
For sure, a really diverse country.
And finally, the symbols. The flag.
Video breaks it down nicely. White for peace, honesty. Red for courage, hardiness.
And the blue triangle.
Justice, truth, loyalty. And the video had that funny mnemonic.
The beer foam. White foam, red beer, blue. Label. Or loyalty.
Something like that. Memorable, anyway. And of course, the national anthem, a unifying symbol.
So, wrapping this up. Our dive into these sources, the video and the text, it paints a picture of a really fascinating place.
Absolutely. Rich history empires, revolutions, peaceful splits, vibrant culture, the beer, the castles, the language.
Natural beauty, loads of innovation, global impact.
From Dvorak on the moon to contact lenses, it's a country that sits right at the heart of Europe, but has such a distinct identity.
Yeah, shaped by empires, by communism, by democracy, but still uniquely Czech.
And it leaves you, the listener, with maybe this thought to chew on. You've got this blend of East and West influences, deep traditions next to modern progress.
That constant interplay.
Exactly. So what part of that Czech story, that culture or history really grabs you? What makes you curious to maybe look a little deeper?
Because it feels like there's definitely more layers to uncover.
No doubt about it.